Project number 2, lesson number 4. Before we get started, just a little note about the C major scale. So we are focusing on just learning what the C major scale is, because in order for you to write a song, you have to write a song in a particular key. The C major scale establishes what is called the key of C. And that is the key in which you're going to be writing your song in. And the key of C is basically all of the white keys, okay, for the C, based on the C major scale. After I get you comfortable with the scale, which is basically 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, the root to the octave. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we go over the chords. But I want you to look at what can be done with a simple scale. So we've got a simple scale in the treble and the bass staff. And now we're going to do the same thing here, but only this time we're going to change the flavor of the scale. So we're going to start the scale off higher in tone in the treble staff and lower in tone in the bass staff. We're going to keep the quarter notes in the bass staff, but we're going to change the quarter notes in the treble staff to eighth notes. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to see how it sounds different from just the basic way that we done the scale in the beginning. So what this is going to do is just to kind of give you an idea of how you can take something simple and add a little bit of flavor to it. Now, mind you, it's a very simple flavor, but just to show you what is possible when you're working in the same key, which you'll understand a little bit better as we go and as we continue to build. Okay, let's get started. First thing that we want to do is we just want to focus on measures 3 and 4. So we're going to move the highlight and make sure your highlight is in the third measure. So right here is where I'm going to start to change these quarter notes into eighth notes. So I'm going to go right here where it says note. Make sure that that is highlighted. If not, you click onto it. And then you're going to go right in here and you're going to look for your eighth note. And you're going to click on your eighth note. And it immediately changes both of these into eighth rests as opposed to quarter rests. I'm going to move my highlight over and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change them. I'm going to go over again and change them. Go over again and change them. That's the easiest way to do it. There is another way to do it, but just to keep it simple and to give you a little practice, just go over to each rest and change them to eighth notes. Now that you've done that, move your highlight back over to the first note in the treble staff. And now we're going to put in our C major scale again. But only this time we're going to double the notes. So instead of playing one C, we're going to play 2 C's. And in addition to that, instead of playing or starting it on C4, we're going to start it on C5. So C5 is higher up on the staff, which means it has a higher tone. So I'm going to click on C, and then I'm going to click on C again, and that's C5. We're on the C5 now. Now I'm going to do D5 twice. We're still doing the C major scale, but only it's a higher register on the piano, and we're using eighth notes in the treble staff. Okay? So we're going from C5 to C6. It jumped down automatically. We're going from C5 all the way up to C6. So now that's done. Let's go down to our bass staff. Make sure it's highlighted. You know it's highlighted when the little bulb is down there. Now in the bass staff, we're going to do the C major scale again. We're going to leave the quarter notes, but only this time we're going to go down, which means we got to go to the numbers like this. So we're going to go down to C2. we're going to bring that C down a little bit lower, and then we're going to go up. D2, E2, and so on. Okay, it automatically jumps down because it's getting ready to go into the next measure. Okay, so that's it for this particular lesson. Let's hear what it sounds like. And again, move your cursor all the way to the beginning, or you can just click on there. And this is what it should look like and sound like after you have completed this lesson. Remember, it's going to repeat. Now, higher register, eighth notes. Lower register, more bass. Hear the difference? Hear the flavor? Same thing, it's just a scale, but it adds a little bit of fluff to it by simply changing the register in the treble and the bass and changing the note values from quarter notes to eighth notes. Okay, go on to the next lesson and we'll finish up with lessons 5 and 6. With measures 5 and 6.